The Mello TV Evening News at 8 is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Coronavirus is in Jamaica, and I know you feel scared and worried. But you can't let COVID-19 divide us. Coronavirus infects all kinds of people. It doesn't discriminate. So why should you? When someone coughs or sneezes or shows signs of the virus, tell them to call 888-1-LOVE immediately. And remember, stay 3 feet away, but don't attack or disrespect them, because we're all in this thing together. Come on, Jamaica, cut the hate and don't discriminate. Let us stand together and fight COVID-19 as one family, one nation.
Tonight, the National Works Agency NWA says roadways in several parishes remain impassable following heavy rains on the weekend. Jamaica has recorded 36 new cases of the COVID-19 and 18 recoveries from the virus reported yesterday, November 8th. COVID-19 vaccine from Pfizer and BioNTech is strongly effective, according to early data from a large trial. And newly elected president of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, says he is now ready to take on a bold new era in the PNP as they embark on unifying the party.
Jamaica deserves an honest, hard-working and committed leader who will lead with integrity and justice.
Good evening. The National Works Agency, NWA, says roadways in several parishes remain impassable following heavy rains on the weekend, even as the agency dispatches teams to clear other road sections. The NWA said there were numerous reports of blockages and inundation across the island, as well as single-lane access in some areas. Earlier, the police listed 4 affected corridors and advised motorists to use alternate routes. Among the corridors that are currently impassable are the Bogwall Gorge in St. Catherine, a section of the Garden Town roadway, the Woodford to Maryland Road, and the roadway through Silver Hill Gap in St. Andrew. The NWA said the Bethel to Whiteford roadway in St. Thomas is also being affected by a breakaway that has left the roadway at Mount Vernon impassable. Manager of Communication and Customer Services at the NWA, Stephen Shaw, says that teams have been dispatched to clear landslides along several roadways in St. Catherine. He urged motorists and all road users to remain vigilant while using the roadways as the rains are projected to continue and failures and surface damages are likely to happen or reoccur over the next few days. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is advising that given prevailing weather conditions, the planned reopening of 17 schools for the pilot face-to-face in school classes has been postponed. The ministry says it will provide an update tomorrow, November 10, subsequent to further advisories from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management and the National Meteorological Service. Jamaica has recorded 36 new cases of COVID-19 and 18 recoveries from the virus reported yesterday, November 8th. The Ministry of Health and Wellness said no deaths were recorded during the said period. The country's total confirmed COVID-19 cases now stand at 9,542, of which 4,242 are active. The new cases consist of 16 males and 20 females with ages ranging from 1 year to 73 years. Of the new cases, 6 are from Trelawney, 5 are from Kingston and St. Andrew, 4 each from Hanover, Portland, St. Anne and Westmoreland, 3 from St. Catherine and 2 each from Manchester, St. Elizabeth and St. James. The ministry said 3 of the new cases are imported, 3 are contacts of confirmed cases, and the other 30 cases are under investigation. Meanwhile, the 18 patients who have recovered from the virus bring the country's total number of recoveries to 4,900 152. Pfizer and partner BioNTech, in a statement released earlier today, said that their vaccine against COVID-19 was strongly effective, exceeding expectations with results that are likely to be met with cautious excitement and relief in the face of the global pandemic. The vaccine is the first to be tested in the United States to generate late-stage data. The company said in an early analysis of the results showed that individuals who received 2 injections of the vaccine 3 weeks apart experienced more than 90% fewer cases of symptomatic COVID-19 than those who received a placebo. For months, researchers have cautioned that a vaccine that might only be 60 or 70% effective. In keeping with guidance from the Food and Drug Administration, the companies say they will not file for an emergency use authorization to distribute the vaccine until they reach another milestone when half of the patients in their study have been observed for any safety issues for at least 2 months following their second dose. Pfizer expects to cross that threshold in the 3rd week of November. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, says it has launched a search for a group of men who attacked Police Constable Kirkland Omar Plummer in a brutal mob attack on the constable after arresting a gunman at a party held on the border of Clarendon and Manchester on Saturday night. The slain 36-year-old constable was attached to the Spaldings police station. Preliminary reports from the police are that Constable Plummer arrived at an event taking place in Harwood District. Within minutes of his arrival, a man was seen firing gun salutes. Constable Plummer, who also hails from a nearby community, proceeded to arrest the man and seize the weapon, at which time a tussle ensued. During the altercation, a single round was discharged and the man was shot and injured. Constable Plummer subdued the man, seized the weapon and called for assistance. While assistance was on its way, a group of individuals attacked the constable in spite of being told that he was conducting his lawful duties as a policeman. Persons hurled broken concrete blocks at him and he was shot twice. Attempts were made to rush Constable Plummer to the hospital, but the angry crowd prevented this from happening. However, patrons at the event rushed the gunman to a nearby hospital where he died. He has been identified as 27-year-old Dwayne Sloss. Constable Plummer's licensed firearm was retrieved from the scene, along with the Browning 9mm pistol he retrieved from Sloss. In the meantime, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has condemned the brutal killing of Constable Kirkland Plummer, expressing that, quote, Constable Plummer was a dedicated member of the constabulary who fell victim to an aberrant type of behavior that has become all too familiar in our society today, end quote. The police commissioner commended the slain constable for choosing to take action in the way he did, saying that, quote, while other members of society can legitimately be off duty, policemen and women are bound by the law and their sacred oath to rise to the service of their communities when the need demands. Constable Plummer did so, but was killed by some of the very persons he was seeking to protect, end quote. Meanwhile, Commissioner Anderson is also commending members of the community who provided information that assisted the Manchester Police to launch a series of coordinated operations which led to the arrest of 5 persons in connection with the event and the investigation into Constable Plummer's killing. The Commissioner has extended his sympathies and prayers to Constable Plummer's wife and the children, his colleagues at the Spalding Police Station where he served, and the wider communities where he was beloved. The Commissioner urged JCF members across the country to continue to be focused and resolute in the execution of their lawful duties, show respect for all while they enforce the rule of law. And the Police Federation yesterday also called the actions of citizens barbaric, callous, inhumane, and wicked after the brutal murder of Constable Plummer. The Federation says the deafening silence from certain sectors of society to this gruesome act is a slap in the face of law enforcement and only serves to, quote, embolden these miscreants, end quote. They assert the attack of any police officer is an attack on the state. The Federation is also challenging the government to demonstrate their commitment to crime fighting by making stronger laws, especially those dealing with firearms, as well as more resources for police officers to include greater benefits, as they assert that policing in Jamaica is high risk and very dangerous. The Federation says the society is descending into anarchy and that police officers represent the buffer between law-abiding citizens and marauding criminals. It is urging its members to be on high alert and to take all steps to preserve their lives and the lives of all citizens. The Federation says it cannot become the norm for the police to be killed and abused while doing their lawful duty. It says their members will not relent nor retreat in their duties. The Federation is expressing condolences to the family and friends of the slain officer, while asserting that members will not relent until the perpetrators are caught and brought to justice. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has also expressed immense sadness at the savage killing of Police Constable Kirkland Plummer. Prime Minister Holness in a statement said, quote, "My heart goes out to his wife and 3 beautiful children who are left to mourn this devastating loss. They can count on the support of the government during this truly difficult time. I also extend my deepest condolences to the rest of his family and to his colleagues in the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF," end quote. He noted that in addition to the dangerous, illegal, and totally unnecessary practice of celebratory discharge of firearms at events, the party was taking place at a time when such events have been restricted for the protection of the public health of the country. Prime Minister Holness further noted that there now appears to be a tendency for criminal elements at these prohibited events to challenge law enforcement to the point of serious injury and fatalities. The Prime Minister said our security planners are always evaluating our national security landscape and will most certainly respond with appropriate strategies. He said the perpetrators of this heinous act against the state, who have deprived Constable Plummer of his life and his family of his love, will be pursued relentlessly and brought to justice, as the JCF has demonstrated time and time again. In other news, charges under the anti-gang legislation are among several that have been laid against 2 teenagers from Kingston following an incident on Rum Lane in the parish on November 1. Charged are 19-year-old Sabuki Martin, otherwise called Baby, of Mark Lane, Kingston, and a 15-year-old teen of Hanover Street in the parish. They were charged with the offenses of murder, conspiracy to murder, illegal possession of firearm, illegal possession of ammunition, and participating in a criminal organization. Reports from the Kingston Central Police are that at about 11:55 a.m., Martin and the 15-year-old boy allegedly shot and killed 28-year-old Trevon Wilson, otherwise called Lico, at his home on Rum Lane in the parish. Both teens were arrested on Tuesday, November 3, during an operation on George's Lane, Kingston. They were formally charged on Saturday, November 7, after an interview. They are to appear before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday, November 12. Still in the news, newly elected president of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, says he is now ready to take on a bold new era in the PNP as they embark on unifying the party. And here is Colleen May with more on this story.
Newly elected president of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, says he's now ready to take on a bold new era in the PNP following his victory over Hanna in Saturday's internal election. Golding, who was speaking on Saturday at the party's headquarters on Old Hope Road, expressed that delegates have made their mark on the new leader, who has a proven track record of delivering results and one that is inclusive. He said he's ready to sit down with Miss Hanna to share their vision for the party.
I want to thank my campaign team, my road team, my communications team, my family in South St. Andrew, my family here with me, and of course, every delegate in every region that came out and supported the process, every party group, the PNP-YO, the Patriots, the Women's Movement, and the National Workers' Union, all who came out in the rain and during a pandemic to make their mark. I have to again thank my wife and children for their unconditional love and support as I step forward into a bold new era of national leadership. The delegates have made your mark for a leader who has a proven track record of delivering results and a leader who is not divisive and is inclusive. I wish Comrade Hanna was here, but I understand that she had made a commitment to be in her constituency. If you were here, I would have asked her to come forward and join me. Comrade Lisa Hanna, thank you for a strong but collegial contest. The word is love. This party will be a big tent for all of us. I am ready to sit down with you and your team and to share our vision for the People's National Party. I'm ready to hear your vision, so we will all unite and work together as a party to rebuild and refocus our efforts to build a stronger People's National Party. Comrades, this is a new era. The world is different from what we knew it to be a year ago.
Mr. Golding further expressed that the Jamaican people are longing for the party to bridge the gap of discord and that there must be creation of harmony within the party.
Indeed, the PNP is different now from what we knew it to be a month ago. It is clear that our members and supporters, and indeed the people of Jamaica, are longing for us to bridge the gaps of discord that we have been experiencing for some time. We must create harmony out of that discord. The people of Jamaica are demanding that of us. The foundation of our unity will be respect and love. Love for our family, that is the People's National Party, and most importantly, love for our country, Jamaica. It is beautiful to observe the passion and purpose of people who want the best for their country. During this campaign, I have had the opportunity to meet mothers who are doing all they can to meet ends meet. Fathers who work hard to ensure that their families are fed. Workers who go beyond the call of duty to serve. I have witnessed the determination of our youth, and I've experienced the loyalty of friends, family, and colleagues dedicated to restoring this party to the ideals on which it was formed. I too am passionate about rebuilding our party so that we are once again in the confidence of the Jamaican people and ready to assume responsibility for governing Jamaica. I understand and believe in the principles and practices of the PNP, and I am committed to the struggle for social justice and the creation of a society with equal access to opportunity for all Jamaicans.
The newly elected PNP president said Jamaica deserves a hard-working, honest and committed leader.
Comrades and friends, this is our victory. It is a victory for the People's National Party. I come from a place of genuine love for people and a desire to do all I can to ensure that all Jamaicans have a fair chance to achieve their full potential. Jamaica deserves an honest, hard-working and committed leader who will lead with integrity and justice. The people of this country need a strong and united People's National Party that truly cares for all Jamaicans, no matter where you come from, what you look like, where you worship, how you vote. And today, you have chosen a leader who, along with our leadership team, will make it happen. This is a new dawn of leadership, a new way of operating and communicating. Comrades, mark my words. Our task will not be easy, and yes, the road will be dreary and the barriers strong, as our party song says. But at the same time, Jamaica is also facing unprecedented challenges and untold hardships, and the government is already struggling under the weight of the challenges. It is clear that the Jamaican people will soon be looking at us to lead the country out of this crisis. Our immediate task is to get our party fit and ready for the Jamaican people.
In speaking with the delegates, they all expressed the sentiment of unity.
Democracy has spoken in the People's National Party. We have decided, the delegates have decided, and the delegates' vote will be respected. Mark Golden, the new president, and we will look for much greater things from the People's National Party.
I'm a comrade, and I was at Lisa 10, so I give Lisa my support. I would have given Mark Golden the support just the same, because they are two comrades, and one have to come out victorious. So anyone who come out victorious, we will be working with that person. And I know Lisa will be working with Mark Golden just the same. It's just one PNP, one family. You understand? We have to come together that we can match a JLP.
I'm very, very excited about this win. I'm excited about the promises that it presents for the party, the promises for unification, for the kind of camaraderie that we so desperately seek, because it has so long escaped the People's National Party. And I think Mark Golden win is a win, not only for the People's National Party, but for a win for Jamaica. So we say go with Golden.
Reporting from Mello TV News, I'm Colleen May.
Thanks, Colleen. In the meantime, outgoing president of the People's National Party, PNP, Dr. Peter Phillips, has congratulated newly elected President Mark Golding on his victory on the weekend. Dr. Phillips, in a statement, urged the party, including all members, affiliates, and supporters, to unite in full support of the leader as the organization embarks on the task of charting the way forward in keeping with the traditions of progressive politics and the need to strengthen the PNP's electoral appeal. Meanwhile, St. Anne South East Member of Parliament Lisa Hanna, who was Golding's contender for the top post, has expressed thanks to all her supporters in Saturday's election. Hanna said the campaign was extraordinary for her and that she loved every moment of the journey, while congratulating Mark Golding on his victory. Hanna said she now commits her continued service and support to the PNP and its newly elected president. Hanna received 1,444 votes and was beaten by Golding, who won with 1,740 votes, a lead of 296 votes. A family of 4 died from injuries they sustained in a 2-vehicle accident which occurred in St. Anne yesterday. And we have more on this story with Natisha Johnson.
The St. Anne Police has commenced an investigation into a 2-vehicle accident which occurred along a section of the Queens Highway in Discovery Bay yesterday morning, leaving 4 persons dead. The deceased are Cadian Howard and her common-law husband Jason Gale, and her daughter, 13-year-old Jada Ann McLean, all of Gibraltar near Monique in St. Anne. Howard's 14-year-old sister, Rihanna Howard, of Greerfield near Monique, also died from the injuries she sustained in the deadly crash. All 4 persons were traveling in a Toyota Feeler motorcar driven by Gale. According to the police report, about 7:50 a.m., the Toyota motorcar was traveling in a westerly direction towards Trelawney when Gale, who was the driver, lost control of the vehicle. It then slammed into a Mercedes-Benz traveling in the opposite direction. The teenagers were reportedly flung from the Toyota Feeler, which later burst into flames at the side of the road. Gale and Howard were trapped in the vehicle and were burned to death. Firefighters and police arrived at the scene and managed to extinguish the blaze. The burnt remains of Gale and Howard were later found, while the 2 teenagers were pronounced dead at hospital. The driver of the Mercedes-Benz was treated at hospital for minor injuries. He is said to be alone in his vehicle at the time of the crash. The St. Anne's police are continuing their probe into the tragedy. I'm Natisha Johnson reporting for Mello TV News.
Thanks, Natisha. And finally, in the news tonight, the National Commercial Bank Financial Group Limited has pledged 50 million Jamaican dollars to the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information for the A Device for Every Child initiative. This donation will cover the cost of approximately 1,400 of the 100,000 devices that the initiative seeks to acquire. While the ministry has already provided almost 65,000 students on the Program of Advancement through Health and Education path with laptops and tablets, they have identified the need for an additional 100,000 devices to assist students studying at the primary and secondary levels. Patrick Hilton, President and CEO of NCB Financial Group Limited, expressed that this contribution is not only so that students are not left behind during this unprecedented period, but also that they can participate in a global society that has made a huge digital leap forward precipitated by the COVID-19 pandemic. And those are the stories making news. I'll return with the recap. We'll now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.
Coronavirus is in Jamaica, and I know you feel scared and worried. But you can't let COVID-19 divide us. Coronavirus infects all kinds of people. It doesn't discriminate. So why should you? When someone coughs or sneezes or shows signs of the virus, tell them to call 888-1-LOVE immediately. And remember, stay 3 feet away, but don't attack or disrespect them, because we're all in this thing together. Come on, Jamaica, cut the hate and don't discriminate. Let us stand together and fight COVID-19 as one family, one nation.